Yemen's conflict is reaching a critical phase. We joined Emirati forces along the country's west coast. This area and the port city of Hodeida are key to what happens next. The ceasefire, brokered in December, hangs by a thread, both sides blaming each other for violations. And amidst this grinding war, a desperate population struggling to survive is scrapping in the dirt for whatever handouts they can get. We were taken to the Red Sea flour mills on the edge of the city. This frontline position is now controlled by the coalition. Inside the stores, the grain is spoiling in the heat. Aid agencies say although the fighting's paused, they can't cross the front lines to access these supplies. The United Nations says in these silos alone, there's enough grain to feed 3.7 million people. And remember, in Yemen, 10 million people are on the brink of famine. But although there is a ceasefire, there are daily violations, which means it can't be distributed. One of the most serious was the shelling of this position a couple of weeks ago. And you can see inside here, the grain is still on fire. It's been completely destroyed and has gone to waste. Emirati forces claim it is the Houthis, less than a kilometre away across the sands of no man's land, who are blocking distribution. And the ceasefire could collapse at any time. The break in the fighting, though, between Iranian-backed Houthis and the Saudi-led coalition is the only flicker of hope for Yemen. It is a place where light no longer shines. Famine and starvation stalk the population.
They suffer from malnutrition.
At this field hospital, they're barely coping. The place is full of sick and hungry children. 13 days after she was admitted, Bashira is still struggling to breathe. Her tiny lungs weak from lack of food.
The situation is so bad, and there is no enough support like drugs, food, milk that needs children like her.
And what happens to children like Bashira if they don't come here?
Yeah.
If they can't come here, what happens?
They will die.
The war erupted out of an Arab Spring uprising, but this conflict cannot be resolved through military might. The coalition believes controlling the main commercial ports will clinch victory and restore Yemen's internationally recognised government. But the path to a political settlement will not be easy. The roads are littered with IEDs and landmines. Emirati forces are clearing and destroying them every day. But even if the latest talks are successful, the risk of further violence is great. But for now, the stalemate remains, and it is delicate. If negotiations fail, the lull in the fighting may not last much longer, and the disaster of a full-scale offensive on Hodeida may become reality. Alex Rossi, Sky News.